This show is produced by the Harwood Podcast Network.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris, and we love making this show available to you free of charge. If you'd like to help us keep it that way, make a contribution to our Karma Jar. For more information, visit our website. Today I'm making a batch of a vanilla orange marmalade. Marmalade is much like jam and you use it on toast and muffins in the morning. But a lot of times people don't like it because it's very bitter. Well, let me show you the way I make it so that we get nothing but that pure orange flavor, and then I add just a hint of vanilla. Now, one of the things I love about this recipe is that you can make very small amounts, but if you wanted to make larger amounts, you could just double or triple it. It's really, really easy to do. I also like to use organic oranges, and the reason is in marmalade we use the whole orange, so I want to make sure that there hasn't been anything that's been sprayed on the peels. Now, we take just a medium orange like this. Notice that it still has the little stem in. I want to pop that out. And this one doesn't have too big of a knobby end on it, but just a little bit. So I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to trim off the other end too. And now I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to cut it in eighths. Now, when you're choosing your oranges, if possible, get ones with really, really thin rinds. Now, this one is pretty typical, but when you have something that has a really, really thick rind, this is pretty average, but if it's much thicker, you may find a lot of bitterness in your marmalade. Now, another thing that you could do to combat that is pull the fruit out and then take your melon peeler and just kind of scrape some of that white pith out. That's kind of where all the bitterness is. In fact, this is what I do when I make candied orange peel and candied lemon peel, because that white has got the bitterness. Now you can see out of this one orange, here's the fruit and the peels, but look at all of that white pith that I got out. This big pile means that I've really reduced the bitterness a lot in this marmalade. Now we do have to grind these pieces up finely, so I'm going to take the peel and the pieces of fruit and pop them into my food processor. Now I'm using my little one today because I just have the one orange. If you were doing 2 or 3 oranges, I would definitely use a larger food processor. And then we're just going to grind this up. Now we're going to be cooking this marmalade next, so I have a small saucepan. I want to show you just how fine I pureed all that orange up, and I'll take it and place all that fruit right in my saucepan. And to the fruit I'll add 2 tablespoons of water, a half a cup of sugar. Now we're going to add the vanilla into the marmalade. Now for this, I'm using a vanilla bean. Now I don't use vanilla beans very often at all because they're very expensive here in the United States. But I was so lucky, my friend Anne brought me a whole fistful of them back from her trip to Madagascar. So I'm super lucky to have it. I'm so excited to be using it in this marmalade. If you didn't have the vanilla bean, you could add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That would be fine too. But I do want to use the bean, so I'm going to take and I'm going to split the bean in half lengthwise. And I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to just scrape it along, and you'll see I'll start to get these seeds, and that's where all of the vanilla flavor is. And I'll take those and add them into my fruit, and I'm going to do that with the other half as well. Now with this pod, you don't want to throw this away. What you can do is put it in a jar with some white sugar, and the leftover pod will infuse that sugar with vanilla, so you'll have vanilla sugar, so that's kind of neat. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to stir all of those ingredients together in my saucepan. Then I'm going to take this over to the stove and put it on a medium-high heat. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to stir it constantly for 12 minutes. Now, if you find any time during the 12 minutes that it's boiling too vigorously, you can turn the heat down to medium. Now, towards the very end of the cooking, you can see it's getting really thick. When I drag my spoon, you can start to see the bottom of the saucepan. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And after the 12 minutes, I'm going to take and remove this from the heat. And I'm going to bring it here and let it just sit on the counter for about a half an hour just to bring it down to room temperature. Now, once the marmalade has cooled down to room temperature, I'm going to spoon it out and put it into a container that I can seal, and then I'll put this in the refrigerator until it's totally cooled down. Now, while the marmalade is chilling down, I'd like to tell you about a new premium feature we're offering. It's called Cindy's Kitchen Cookbook. I've taken the hundreds of recipes I've shared with you and put them into an easy-to-use online cookbook. You can sort all my recipes alphabetically to find the one you're looking for, search by main ingredients, or even the type of dish. I've also put together some wonderful menus, and there's a tab to help you plan your next party. If you love gardening, check out the Kitchen Garden tab, which can help you know when to plant, harvest, and cook with foods you grow yourself. And one of the things that makes this cookbook so special is that it is constantly updated with new recipes. If you'd like to subscribe for just $4.99 a month, go to harwoodpodcast.com/cookbook or look for the Cindy's Kitchen Cookbook logo next to any of my cooking podcasts. Now, after the marmalade has totally chilled down, all you have to do is put it into a pretty little bowl, and it's great served on toast or on scones or biscuits. Now, if you'd like to try this vanilla orange marmalade at home, just go to our website and go to the Farmers Market Gourmet show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And don't forget to join us on Facebook. And as always, if you have any questions or ideas for me, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.